Welcome back to Nation of Glory. Today we bring you a story that's all about transformation, passion, and unstoppable drive. This is the journey of Nathan Troy Blauvelt, the man the world knows as Brody King, a name that echoes through arenas, a presence that commands respect, and a soul that proves dreams can be built from grit, pain, and heart. Brody King is not just a professional wrestler, he's a symbol of change, a voice of rebellion, a man who turned power into purpose. Born on March 17, 1987 in Van Nuys, California, Brody wasn't born into the spotlight, he built it himself. He was the kid who stood out for his size, but instead of letting the world define him, he carved his own path. Growing up in California, he discovered wrestling not as a simple sport but as a form of art. It was about emotion, it was about telling a story, and Brody had stories inside him. He wanted to fight, he wanted to feel alive, he wanted to leave a mark that would never fade. His journey started in the Santino Bros Wrestling Academy in Bell Gardens, California, a small training center with big dreams, the kind of place where people go to turn belief into reality. Brody worked harder than anyone else. He pushed his body, his mind, and his limits every single day. He fell, he got back up, he failed, and he tried again. There were no cameras then, no fame, just pain, sweat, and the hunger to become something more. Brody started wrestling in small independent promotions, fighting in front of small crowds in dimly lit halls where the roar of a few fans felt like thunder. To him, it didn't matter if there were 20 people or 2,000, he gave everything because that's what he believed wrestling was about, giving everything you have inside and leaving nothing behind. Standing 6'6" and weighing close to 285 pounds, Brody wasn't just another big man in wrestling. He was fast, powerful, and intense. He moved like a storm, hitting with the power of a freight train, but fighting with the grace of someone who understood every beat of the crowd, every emotion of the story. His tattoos, his look, his presence, they weren't just for show, they were part of who he was, a reflection of his world, a mix of darkness, creativity, and heart. His first big breakthrough came when he joined Ring of Honor in 2018. That's where the world started noticing the monster from California. He teamed up with PCO and Marty Scurll, forming Villain Enterprises, a group that changed the game. They brought chaos, charisma, and power to every show. Brody and PCO would go on to win the Raw World Tag Team Championship and the Raw World Six-Man Tag titles, proving that their mix of madness and precision could dominate anyone who stood in their way. But like every great story, this wasn't the end, it was just another chapter. Brody was growing faster than the walls around him. He wanted to reach higher, to fight bigger, to test his limits against the best in the world, and that moment came in 2022 when he stepped into All Elite Wrestling. How the crowd erupted as Brody King arrived with Malachi Black, forming a dark and powerful alliance known as the House of Black. It wasn't just a team, it was a brotherhood, a statement that wrestling can be art, pain, and power all at once. Inside the House of Black, Brody showed a side of himself that fans had never seen before: the fury, the emotion, the control, and the raw authenticity. Every move, every glare, every roar in the ring told a story. He became part of something larger, something that connected with the fans who saw him not just as a wrestler but as a man with depth, with meaning, with purpose. Together, the House of Black would rise to become our World Trios champions, a testament to how darkness and unity can create beauty inside chaos. But Brody's story wasn't finished, not even close. In 2025, he shocked the world again, teaming up with Bandido to form a brand new team called Brodido, a powerhouse and a high flyer. Together, two worlds collided, and what was born was magic. One man representing brute strength, the other aerial brilliance, two contrasting styles blending perfectly like a song that shouldn't work but somehow does. They fought through every round of the Out Tag Team Eliminator tournament, winning against some of the biggest teams in the business. They proved that differences, when respected, can create perfection. Their biggest moment came on a summer night in August when Brodido stepped into the ring against legends and walked out as the new AEW World Tag Team Champions. The crowd went wild, the noise was deafening, the emotion overwhelming. For Brody King, it was the moment his entire life had been building toward. From the small training room in California to the world stage, this was his reward for every sacrifice, every scar, every night spent wondering if it was all worth it. What makes Brody King's story special isn't just the titles or the fame, it's the way he carries himself, the way he connects with people. He's a man of few words, but when he speaks, when he wrestles, you feel it. He represents the outsider, the misunderstood, the ones who work in silence until the world has no choice but to listen. Outside the ring, Brody King is more than a fighter, he's a musician, a vocalist for the hardcore band Gods Hate. His voice is fierce as his presence in the ring. He channels his rage, creativity, and love for expression through music, showing that power can be loud, can be art, can be real. He's also an actor, appearing in projects that allow him to explore different sides of storytelling, and every time he steps into a new role, he brings authenticity, because for Brody King, everything he does comes from the heart. Today, Brody King stands as one half of the AEW World Tag Team Champions alongside Bandido, a living symbol of hard work paying off. He's proof that success doesn't come overnight, it comes from years of grind, failure, repetition, and belief. He's living the dream of every young kid who's ever looked at a wrestling ring and said, "Someday that will be me." And that's the good news for today. Brody King is still climbing, still thriving, still inspiring. He's not slowing down, he's pushing harder than ever because champions don't stop when they win. They keep fighting when no one's watching, they keep believing when no one's cheering, and Brody King has shown that he is that kind of champion. His story reminds us that life isn't about being perfect, it's about staying true to yourself, it's about turning pain into power, it's about embracing who you are and never apologizing for it. Brody King is the definition of that. He took his love for wrestling, his passion for music, his strength, his struggles, and made something beautiful out of it. So wherever you are watching this from, remember this: if Brody King could turn his dreams into reality through sheer willpower, you can too. No matter how heavy life gets, no matter how far you think you are from your goal, keep moving, keep fighting, keep believing, because your moment will come. Thank you for being part of this journey today. This is the story of Brody King, a man who built his destiny with his own hands and his own heart. If you enjoyed this story, if it inspired you even a little, hit that like button, subscribe to Nation of Glory, and share this story with someone who needs a reminder to never give up. Your support helps us bring more powerful stories of heroes, dreamers, and fighters to the world. Thank you for watching Nation of Glory, where real stories meet real emotion. Until next time, keep believing, keep fighting, and keep shining. This is your host signing off. See you soon.